happened to the sound? Imma just put these on. What is that? Oh, okay. All right. Okay. I didn't even know that was going on in the background. Okay, I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. Let me know if you can hear me. Let me know if you can hear me. Let me know thumbs up. Okay, got it. Got it. Got it. Thank y'all so much. Okay, all right. So I'm back. Sorry about the little sound mix up. I think we got the mics plugged up. So I'm gonna just put on the headphones just to be certain. Okay, let me jump right into it. Tonight we're talking about Shedeur Sanders making his NFL debut, and then we're talking about the Colorado Buffs. They have a stacked QB room. They also have a running back competition and they have a quarterback competition. I don't know if y'all saw this week, but Marshall Faulk been doing interviews. Um, Byron Leftwich. I think I have a clip of Byron Leftwich. Coach Prime turned over, how they start their outdoor practices, and Byron Leftwich, brought the team together to do the 1, 2, 3, this, that, and the other. Again, people don't really know what Byron Leftwich's title is. Now we got 4 QBs, but we have a few competitions, and we have one offensive coordinator, and again, 2 people with offense and coordinator in their title. So it's a lot happening at CU. I saw Coach Pat Schumer talking to Coach Prime. They looked like they were having a genuine conversation. So I don't think Pat Schumer was going anywhere unless he chooses to head out and exit voluntarily. A lot of people weren't sure because of a comment he made about Shedeur Sanders being comparable to Daniel Jones, cleaning it up by saying in personality only. And a lot of people didn't take kindly to that. But this year could be his last year. But it's not going to be a change in guard during the season. I don't think that's going to happen. The wide receiver coach is not playing. He pretty hard on his players. He say this generation is a little soft, so he can't cuss at them like he wanted to. But the wide receiver room is stacked. But oddly, there's no wide receiver competition. There is a running back competition, and I guess they're doing that because we got Track Hawk right out here hurdling guys looking like Saquon Barkley. We got Micah, we got Dallin Hayden, and players are used to being first in line. We're next man up if you gonna ball out. And we got number 20. I don't know his name, but he's supposed to be the fastest guy on the team, which means he took the baton from Cam McHale, number 20, Declan somebody. So there is a running back competition. Now, in terms of the quarterbacks, Ponder, yesterday there was a practice and he has a cannon. All 3 of them. I don't know about Ryan Staub for sure. We got 4 quarterbacks, but Ponder has an arm on him. And I'm going to just say this. I know Caden is out and next year, and I think Ryan Staub might be gone. Does anybody know if this is Ryan Staub's last year? If this is his last year, that means Juju and Ponder are both there. Now, I don't know if Coach Prime will make Ponder compete against Juju. We know Juju is supposed to be competing with Ponder along with Caden, but I think Caden is the guy. But next year is going to be interesting because I think if we don't put Ponder out there, we're going to lose him. He's good. He's good. I'm telling you, he's good. So stay tuned to see you. I didn't know there was a running back competition till yesterday, but after seeing Track Hawk, I get it. You can't just give it to nobody. You gotta pick the best man for the job. We will have a run game. Coach Prime is serious about it, according to what's his name, Marshall Faulk, and we know he's the man for the job. So I don't think we're gonna have a problem with the run game. But I was surprised to see that there is a competition. So I don't know, less than a month to the first game. I'm assuming we're gonna name a quarterback before we get there. I mean, I guess Coach Prime could do that anytime, but point is we got some people that we need to name a job for. All right, so the Buffs are good. Again, competition's underway. Coach Prime could name somebody anytime soon. I'm getting ready to put somebody on the screen. I want y'all to tell me who this is. We got to keep it light around here. Sometimes it get a little heavy. Anybody know who this guy is? Anybody know who this guy is? Drop in the comments before we move on to Shedeur if you know who this guy is. I'll wait. Does anybody know who this is? I give y'all a few guesses and don't cheat. Angela said, yep, ponder is good. Yes, this is Bucky. Does anybody notice how much Snow resembles Bucky? I didn't see that coming. When I saw this photo, yes, this is Bucky. When I didn't know Bucky looked like Snow. I didn't see it. I don't see it. When you look at grown Osakin and you look at Snow, I didn't see it. I saw it in Shiloh. I don't really even see it in Shedeur. I don't see it in anybody else other than Shiloh. I don't see it in, well, I see it in his mom, but like the younger sister, I don't really see it in her either. This is Bucky. He looks like Snow. Willie say, I thought it was you. No. No, that's funny. I might share a baby photo, but that's not me. But yeah, this is Osakin. I like, we gotta make sure we give Bucky his flowers. Like this man he holds it down for the family. He tells people off. He didn't like when the owner basically came out and said Shedeur wasn't his pick. Bucky spoke up about that. You saw what happened at the Texas Tech game. He wasn't playing with that ball boy who was trying to take the ball away from Shiloh. And surprisingly, Shiloh kept on walking because he the one. He the one. He and Bucky don't fall far from that tree. So this is Bucky. So I just wanted to share that before we get into it about talking about, who we finna talk about. Not just Shedeur, but we're finna talk about the expectations for the game. All right, so everybody's excited. Everybody's excited. People are talking about the expectations. First, people are applauding Shedeur for how he's handled training camp and the non-football issues thrown at him. So what that means is the larger, broader media sees that the Cleveland Browns are asking him basically not preparing him to be the quarterback, but instead putting forth non-football issues. What that means is he gets questions, how is your dad? Or, did they tell you you're going to play in the game? They don't ask him football questions, which meant the media knew that Shedeur was not being prepared for the games. They were not considering him as a valuable option on their roster. And it's seemingly true. After Shedeur had arm soreness and the other two are magically injured, that they went out. I think the other two are injured so they could justify going to get Huntley. Now, the way they describe Huntley, they built him up. Now, y'all know how they treated him. They had him on the roster from May to the last week in August, and they cut him before the game check, and they claimed he was untradeable. Like they couldn't find a suitable trade partner, so nobody wanted you. So they devalued Huntley, and they sent him on his way. And I told y'all, Buckeye Paulie told me that in week 17, when Huntley started for Miami, he put a BTA. I think it was 30-4. He put a BTA on Cleveland. So Cleveland discarded him like trash, and now they want to come running back, and now they want to build him up and pit him against Shedeur, talking about, oh, he's a Pro Bowl player. And people are like, he wasn't on your roster all last year. He was recently on he recently played for Cleveland. He didn't play for Cleveland. They kicked him out before the first game check. He was a Pro Bowl alternate for Josh Allen. Yes, he did good to replace Lamar Jackson, but you discarded him and you knew all of that then. If he was in Baltimore and did all of that and then came to you in March and you discarded him before August and then he went to Miami, why are you building him up now? But you said nobody wanted to trade for him and you didn't want to keep him either. So I'm telling you, they did that to try to make Shedeur shake in his boots. Oh, we're going to get somebody that looks like you, that wears the number 2, don't get lost on it, and put him on our roster because they were going to try to do away with him. And then the media, in my opinion, the larger media and social media, and when I say media, I mean social media, they weren't having it. They weren't having it. And if that didn't happen last night, if that did not happen, I don't think he will be playing in this game. I was reading comments that people had sent overnight, and everybody was saying, based on what they saw after end of business yesterday, what we talked about, that they didn't tell him he was going to play in the game, and they're going to go get, Tyler, and that they could verbalize that Tyler was playing in the game, that, oh, they're not going to let Shedeur play. So when I went through all of those comments, I said, we showed up and guys showed out, because that's what happened. So once again, just like in the draft, they tried to leave him hanging. Guys showed up. I couldn't even say we showed up then. I just know what went viral. I know what two very influential events went viral, and that has something to do with it. So what I mean is, it takes them to be kicked in the, for them to do the right thing by Shedeur. So let's talk about the expectations of Shedeur Sanders. Basically, I guess you could say, for the first game, and the expectations of the Cleveland Browns now that Shedeur is named the starter, now that Shedeur gets first team reps, something he should have had already. The fact that he didn't have first team reps tells you that they weren't interested in developing him. And to be honest with you, I don't even trust them at this point going forward. I really don't. So we're going to talk about the expectations. So I'm going to ask y'all first, so y'all can, put in the comments, what do you think are the expectations for Shedeur in the game? What do you think are the expectations for Cleveland now that Shedeur has the opportunity to ball out? If he goes out there, a good game manager, and let's say they win the game, what is the expectation that you have of Cleveland if he balls out in this game, looks good, and they win? You could look good and still just lose the match. But I meant all of it. If all of it happens, balls out, look good, win, what do you think the expectation is for Cleveland going forward, as it pertains to Shedeur? That's the question I have. So, I'm going to tell you what I think, obviously. So, I'm going to tell you what I think. Just give me a second. I'm getting ready to switch videos right fast. I had some video of Shedeur. Let's see if it's still on here. Is this it? I had video from Shedeur. I just use this one. I'll just go with this one for now. This is the one I was telling y'all about earlier, that we had the guys that see you saw. It won't take the file type. Oh, did he get it? Okay, hold on.
Okay. Oh, I know that guy.
Yeah, me too.
I know that guy.
Me too.
Oh, that's your brother?
That's my brother.
Oh, okay.
I really taught him everything he know. You know what I'm saying? Like throwing the ball and stuff. Like
No, I bought him that chain.
Like
I bought him that chain.
I heard you bought him the chain. God damn.
Nah.
Bro, it's funny because God told me someone was gonna let me borrow money this week. Like,
Bucky, no, he's funny. Bucky is hilarious. So it's funny. This is proof that CU is gonna be excited that their guy is getting not just getting first team reps. I don't even think he need that at this point. I feel like that's lip service, that he's getting his NFL debut. People are comparing this. They said, I didn't know the Super Bowl was going to be in August. I'm like, that's true, because it's going to be watched. It's going to be one of the most watched games. So let's talk about the expectations. I made a list. So let's get into my list of what the hell I expect. Okay. I expect Shedeur to do well when it comes to managing the offense. I think he manages the offense in practice. He's managed the offense at CU. He managed the offense at Jackson State and at Trinity Christian. That's not a new skill set. It's not like this is rookie minicamp and this is a scrimmage and we don't know you. Let's assess your skills. He's already proven you can't get the numbers and the accuracy if you don't manage the offense. Even with the O-line being weak at CU, I don't have a problem with saying it. Year one and on the right side in year two, he still managed the offense. We talk about how well he keeps the players in the game, even when they're not behind. So let's just say this game start off and Shedeur starts off. Let's say things go slow. Carolina gets on the board first. Carolina gets on the board second. Maybe they get 10 points, right? If that happens, Shedeur's still going to be locked in. Now the players will have the opportunity. And mind you, if he's throwing to the 2s, 3s, and 4s, some of them probably not going to even be on the game. Not going to be on the team. So 10-0, this is where Cleveland players learn you don't get defeated. You don't get down. We don't give up. I heard him out there on the field. Let's go ahead and get end zone or whatever. Let's get this score or whatever. And they were doing well. I guess they 2-minute drills and some of the other things that they were doing. Everything he's done has been good. Is he perfect? No, but nobody else is. And if nobody else is expected to be perfect, then you can't be harsh because you feel like you keep moving the bar that he has to jump over. No. So I expect him to manage the offense because he's been managing. I've heard the videos of him corralling the team and the players. You see the first team players, even though they don't want them, gravitating to Shedeur. You've seen Njoku, you've seen Miles, and they scared of both of them. I'm convinced they scared of both of them. There's a more recent video with Njoku, coming, to talk to him or whatever. And, Shedeur's just keeping it business, right? Just keeping it business. So those guys are stepping out on a limb to, connect with him. But I told you, you've never seen Jerry Jeudy do it because everybody is not willing to be who they truly are. Some people are willing to submit. So manage the offense. I think he's going to be good there. I don't think that's a problem. Let me know your thoughts. And it says, I expect Cleveland to stop suppressing Shedeur. I do. I expect Cleveland to stop suppressing him. Let him go out here and play ball like he does at practice. Stop suppressing him. Now, one of the things I don't like to hear people talk about is, again, he has numbers. He has history with the Browns. But y'all want to go back to Colorado and only talk about the negative. He holds on to the ball too long. Here's what's interesting. Pat Mahomes extends plays and they love it. But when he extends plays, it's a problem. I don't like that. Pat Mahomes does the same thing Shedeur does. Shedeur is nothing but a Lil Tom Brady. In fact, last week, his nickname was Lil Brady. So to you to get upset that he holding on to the ball too long, again, 71% accuracy says it's not a problem. When Pat Mahomes does it, it's not a problem. So I don't have a problem with it. Maybe it's just a different way of playing football, but that doesn't mean he's not a good quarterback. So I expect Cleveland to stop suppressing him. I expect Cleveland to stop judging Shedeur harshly, and they don't have no type of requirements for anybody else. The other three quarterbacks they have are not good. Flacco, I confirmed, is 40. He's 2 years older than he was the last time he was there. He wasn't good in Indianapolis, but nobody has any suggestions for Flacco to get better. Dylan Gabriel is reported when he rolls out the pocket, he can't even see. Nobody has any recommendations for him to have a calf transplant, but the point is they still want to roll with him, right? So they judging Shedeur harshly. And then there's Kenny Pickett. Everybody just describes Kenny Pickett as Kenny Pickett, and everybody knows what that means. He's not good. And there are no recommendations for Kenny Pickett. Do I believe they injured? Not really, I don't. In some respects, I think Cleveland thought if they held Shedeur back from the ones, he wasn't going to be accurately developed for preseason. Because why is he getting reps with the ones right now? Because you want to give them to Tyler? They claim Tyler is not going to be around. Knowing Cleveland, they was going to bring Tyler in, think they was making Shedeur upset, like that would bother him. And they probably was going to cut Shedeur and keep Tyler. I wouldn't put it past them. So therefore, not giving him reps with the ones, you are not a viable option for us. So we going to go and get Tyler. It wouldn't surprise me if they went and got Tyler because Shedeur said he had arm soreness and they didn't believe it. But I don't believe that Kenny Pickett and Dylan are hurt. I think they look terrible and Shedeur look better. And I think they believe throwing Shedeur out here at preseason is going to be too much pressure. Oh, he's never run with the ones. If they not playing in a game, it don't matter. He's going to be out there playing with the 2s, the 3s, and the 4s. So is this their type of thinking? Oh, yeah, he going to ball out, but then we still going to cut him and then we're not going to find a suitable trade partner. Understand the collusion from the draft is happening right now. So it would not surprise me if they were not going to find a suitable trade partner for Shedeur. Pay attention. The numbers that we had on the screen, with Shedeur being the best, they still made Shedeur a 4th string. They already talking about the preseason game means nothing. Wait till all of those fans show up. They already had a 4th stringer that they stayed late with, Myles Garrett and Shedeur, because he was missnapping the ball. Let's see if he the center that missnapped the ball. Unfortunately, you have to look for these sorts of things with Cleveland because all they're going to give you is lip service. They only do what they're forced to do. I believe they were forced to put him in this game. They know he played with the 2s, the 3s, and the 4s. They know he could go out there and ball out with the 2s, the 3s, and the 4s. That's what he been doing. They were forced to put him in this damn game. But do they have to set him up for success? No. They already have him behind the pen in training camp. How am I going to aptly compete for a job and I don't get the same opportunities? So you can't trust this organization. In fact, let's see, we have a clip of Shannon and Ocho saying the same thing. You can see how visibly upset they are about the way Shedeur is being treated. This is a small example, a small sample size of how upset people were last night. So let me share my screen. Let's see. All right.
But that's not what they've done. What are the Browns
I don't know what
doing?
they're doing. We don't know what they've done the last 35.
Do they know? Are we sure they know what they're doing?
They don't. Have they known what they're doing since that franchise has been established? Have they figured it out yet? How are we supposed to trust this organization when it comes to choosing quarterbacks at a position when they haven't figured it out all these years? All of a sudden, now they got all the now they got all the sense.
They drafted Shedeur in the 5th round. They're not expecting much of Shedeur. They didn't, because if they thought that much of him, they'd have drafted him higher. If they thought that much of him, they would have given him a fair opportunity. But that's not what they've done. What are the Browns
I don't know what they're doing. We don't know what they've done the last 35.
Do they know? Are we sure they know what they're doing?
They don't. Have they known what they're doing since that franchise has been established? Have they figured it out yet? How are we supposed to trust this organization when it comes to choosing quarterbacks at a position when they haven't figured it out all these years? All of a sudden, now they got all the now they got all the sense.
They drafted Shedeur in the 5th round. They're not expecting much of Shedeur. They didn't, because if they thought that much of him, they'd have drafted him higher. If they thought that much of him, they would have given him a fair opportunity. But that's not what they've done.
Now, see, I will say this. I'm going to have to, and again, these guys played in the NFL. They get retirement checks from the NFL. I am of a believer that, yes, they are upset, but there's only so much they're going to say. You heard Shannon say, if they expected much of him, they wouldn't have drafted him in the 5th round. They would have drafted him early on. Now, what nobody says is what I've said umpteen times. They did pre-draft with him. They were going to make him their number 2 overall pick. So they know exactly what to expect from him. Andrew Berry said it. Shedeur will outproduce his draft stock. So why are they holding him back? That's the magic question. You do know who he is. You told us you know who he is. You pre-draft with him. But do you see how upset those two were? Shannon and Ocho? There were people, I'm telling you, last night that had social media on fire. And when you woke, but I think when you woke up today, all you heard is what they were talking about late last night. They were calling them a traveling circus. I said it was a circus. I didn't say they was traveling. I just said it's a damn circus. 6 quarterbacks is a circus. People are saying it. Deshaun Watson can play. They don't want Deshaun Watson to play. They could trade Deshaun Watson. They not going to trade Deshaun Watson. Shedeur is in the same situation as Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson was forced there. He was forced there. Shedeur was forced there. They don't want neither one of them. They try to kick both of them every single day. Then they went and got Tyler, who they already discarded, making him invaluable, saying they couldn't find a trade partner. So they can't find a trade partner for Deshaun. They're not going to be able to find a trade partner for Shedeur. They're not going to find another trade partner, a second round for Tyler. They all 3 are black quarterbacks. they kick these guys down when they've done them wrong and they're forced to put them on somebody's roster. It turns out to be Cleveland. Throw RG3 into there. So their passion, mine, and this is a small example of what it was like last night. Cleveland don't know what they're doing. When have they ever known what they're doing? And I asked in Spaces, how do y'all have the credibility to say Shedeur isn't good or to doubt a quarterback when you've had 40 quarterbacks in 25 years take snaps at starter? When they don't want a black quarterback to be the starter, they don't get the majority of the reps. They don't get the majority of the season play. But they want to say Joe Flacco was their starter. He only played 5 games. So why does he get the label as the starter? Because this that important. Who the starter is important because of the influence that comes with the quarterback position. Cam Ward has Restrepo from Miami with him in Tennessee, which meant if Shedeur was number 2, he could have his receiver also. And y'all know who that was going to be. So let's talk about Jimmy because this is crazy. So Carolina put out their depth chart, right? Carolina put out the what they call their first official depth chart of the season as they go into preseason, right? So everybody is expecting Jimmy Horn Jr. to be up there, right? We're expecting Jimmy Horn Jr. to be the 1 or 2 or the 3 because why? They have him on everything. And I said they was making business decisions. Well, they damn sure it's called exploitation. So now that the depth chart is out for Miami, they have Jimmy Horn Jr. going to share my screen. They have Jimmy Horn Jr. way at the back at wide receiver 3, which means like 9. So check this out. I just don't. These teams, they just using these players. That's all it is. They just using these players. I mean, it's just kind of crazy that you see Jimmy as much as you see him. And they got him on the way in the back of the depth chart. And they talking about how good he is and this, that, and the other. But, I mean, you know, they got him on the banner of their social media. This is the depth chart. I'm going to make myself smaller so y'all can see where Jimmy is. Okay, so, all right, at the top, we have wide receiver, and then way down here at the bottom, I'm going to have to move myself off the screen, guys. Let's see. Okay, I'm not on the screen, and I got to move Angela's comments right fast. All right, so y'all can see, because I think that's where it is. Oh, there it is. Okay, so I'm not on the screen, but you should be able to hear my voice. Okay, so pay attention to the left. You have wide receiver. So wide receiver 1, wide receiver 2, and then when you scroll down to the bottom, you have, if you look at the bottom, you have another wide receiver. So, okay, at the top, first string, second string, third string. Left is the position. Across the top, first, second, and third string. So they have their first priority wide receiver 1, Ted McMillan. Number 2 is, who is this? David Moore. Then they have Bryson. And then it goes to the second wide receiver. So you have an X and a Y that are typically at the same time. Then you have Arian Thielen, and then you have Renfro, and you have Jacoby. Then down here at the bottom, they got Jimmy Horn Jr. They got Xavier Leggett, and they have Jalen Coker, and then they have Jimmy Horn Jr. dead last. So whether this is a slot or whatever, Jimmy Horn Jr. is third. Now, we just talked about this earlier. I'm like, they got this man on his social media. He's on a banner on their social media. He's in every video that they have. He seems to be a valuable part of the team. And why is that? It should be his skill set because they talk about how good he is all of the time, right? But when it comes to prioritizing him for play, he dead ass last. This is crazy. No 6th string QB gets that kind of attention, that kind of praise. He's already made 2 touchdowns. But when it's time to do the depth chart, he's way at the back. So now, when it's time to play, you're going to relegate him to a 6th string. No 6th string wide receiver gets love like that. They had people talking about, they were showing Jimmy so much, they was like, they should have just drafted him as wide receiver 1st string, whether it was for the slot or not. So when there was a vacation that they took, it had Ted McMillan, some of the other players, the receivers, and Xavier Leggett. I noticed that Jimmy Horn Jr. wasn't there. And that's what kind of told me, oh, he might not be considered part of their top tier crew because he's not with them on this trip. But then they go right back to using him in all of their social media, right? And then what happens? He gets treated just like it was on that damn vacation. He's not a factor. So what do y'all think about this? Knowing that they made Jimmy Horn Jr. the poster child for the Carolina Panthers. See, I always say you got to see who's going to make the roster after that draft because it was ugly. So let me know y'all's thoughts on that because I can't believe this. I mean, I'm like, damn, they got Jimmy Horn Jr. on the banner of their social media. So they exploiting him rather than appreciating his talent to be 3rd string. That's crazy. So what do y'all think is driving that? Let me know your thoughts and we'll check in the comments. And when you post it, make sure you know we're talking about Jimmy. So, kind of seeing this, right? And I had just said, you notice when it comes to Jimmy, they're not holding his feet to the fire like he's a true 6th round. They celebrate him on their social media, which is true. But as you can see, the depth chart is out today and they have him 3rd as a slot receiver. He is the best receiver they have. So what does it tell you, right? That they willing to exploit these players. Now that ought to tell you everything you need to know about Cleveland. That Jimmy could be the poster child for Carolina and still be 3rd string at wide receiver 3. And they still showing him love. But Shedeur can't even get that. They got Myles Garrett on their social media. They went and got Tyler Huntley. And I know they was going to put him in front of Shedeur. So people stood on their heads with the same type of passion and more intensity than Ocho and Shannon. That's crazy to have Jimmy Horn Jr. It's like they was playing in his face. Bro, are you serious? People on X saying, did y'all spell Jimmy Horn Jr. name wrong? I said, am I missing his name? I said, surely something's not right. So I went to look the chart up for myself, and this is what is there. I said, you got to be kidding me. You got to be kidding me. Ain't none of these dudes safe. That's all they talked about. Man, he's good. He's one of our best receivers. That's why they kept putting him out there. Scored 2 touchdowns already. And he 3rd string? They say where you get drafted doesn't matter. That's a damn lie. Because if Jimmy was top 10 like he was supposed to be wide receiver, going late in the 1st or early in the 2nd, he'd be paid more money. He'd have more respect in terms of his play and where he's going to play. He just wouldn't be the visible poster child for the Carolina Panthers, and he'd have endorsements. So where you get drafted matters. They said that about Shedeur. Where you get drafted matters, obviously, because they keep trying to hang that 5th round banner around his neck. It's preposterous to think that a round of a draft dictates a player's talent. It might dictate the money they're going to make. But that has no human aspect to it. But you can't take somebody's talent and say, because you went in the 5th round, you need to be developed. No, you could put Boo Boo the Fool in the 1st round and he's not going to work out. And we're seeing that already with Jackson Dart. We're seeing that. They say Jackson Dart is 3rd string. They said Jackson Dart is 3rd string. Jameis Winston is 2nd. And Russell Wilson is 1st. I'm like, well, how you like them damn apples? So y'all got 2 black quarterbacks at the top. Let's see if they rotate the 2. Cleveland did it last year. Jameis Winston was on the roster. In 2024, they rotated 4 quarterbacks. And apparently, they trying to pass off the lie that Tyler Huntley was there, and he was not. They had cut him. So to me, it just says that, I don't know. These players, this don't make any sense. This doesn't make any sense that you got this young man as a poster child. He in all your interviews, you asking him all of the damn questions. So much that people think he your first round wide receiver, and now he 9th on the depth chart. I'm just saying, that threw me. I was like, and it just really paints a picture because, and it could be, you know why it could be, right? You know what I really think? I think because Shedeur is gonna play tomorrow. You know, Jimmy's supposed to be out there. If Jimmy played, Shedeur starting. If Jimmy were wide receiver 1 or 2 and he gets into the game, because technically when you think about it, let's be honest. When you think about it, Jimmy should really be playing tomorrow, right? Who is it that plays in the preseason games, right? Xavier Leggett shouldn't be playing. Jalen might play. So technically Jimmy should be out there. But they got him number 9. To me, that's number 9. Any way you look at it, that's number 9. So Jimmy should play. Shedeur should play. It should be a bus reunion. But these teams, it's like they're trying to say talent don't matter. It's like they're trying to say, you know what, Jimmy, we know you good. Yeah, made you the poster child. We talk about how good you are. We've never seen a receiver as good as you, but we drafted you in the 6th round, so we're going to have to put you at the back. That don't make any sense. That makes absolutely no sense. Rounds do not dictate talent. You cannot say he's the best, but his talent, because he's went in the 6th round, I have to keep you at the back. The only reason you are doing that is because you want to justify why you trying to hang 5th round on Shedeur, because you want to move forward in next year's draft and the year after that, weaponizing the rounds in the draft against the players that you want, that you choose to devalue. These people are not going to stop with this behavior. If they can trot Jimmy out here like they poster child and have him in all these interviews talking about how good he is, he's the best receiver, the twitchiest receiver we've ever seen, which you should have known from scouting, which means you're lying, but then still relegate him to 3rd string is insanity. And it tells you they know exactly what they're doing. So what that should tell you is that Shedeur can get out here. He can ball out tomorrow. And he can ball out Friday. Hell, he can ball out against Philadelphia. He can ball out against Matt Stafford. If they don't want him on the team, they're going to trade him. Look at what they are doing with Jimmy. And it tells you that they probably going to do the same thing with Shedeur. They made him compete knowing he wouldn't have a fair opportunity. You can't trust that. That's what Ocho was saying. You can't trust somebody who basically says, and Kevin Stefanski was the one, everybody's going to get a fair opportunity. But then he been ducking and dodging since he said that, because that's not what they're doing. They're intentionally holding Shedeur back, and they're going to keep doing it after the game. So my expectations is they're going to do what they've been doing. They don't know when to stop. They just going to have to blow it all up first. They just not going to stop playing in these guys' faces. And that's just truth. So, I just want people to understand, don't get your expectations too high. Yes, we are happy that Shedeur is getting his NFL debut. What should happen? Not saying these are my expectations. This is common sense. There were people that were saying they believe at the 11th hour, common sense prevailed in Cleveland. I don't think it was that. I said Cleveland was forced to take Shedeur in the draft, and they forced to play him in this game. Somebody, a lawyer, and anybody else probably reminded them, you can't say you gave him a fair opportunity if you don't let him play in this game and show what he can do. You can't cut him and say he's not good if you don't give him an opportunity to show what he can do. Technically, he should play all 4 quarters because that's what quarterbacks do. And if you say that this guy was brought in due to injuries, and he should be out at the last week, just like you cut him before. I hate that for him. But that's not what they're going to do. So what should happen is whether Shedeur wins or loses the game, whether the Cleveland wins or loses, because again, he playing with 2s, 3s, and 4s. It went well in practice, but you don't know how everybody gonna perform under the pressure. Yeah, it's no pressure for Shedeur, but he gotta have a receiver who can deal with the pressure, catch the ball with his hands, and hold on to it. Harold Fanning Jr., who they praise, couldn't even hold on to the damn ball in practice. So if it's him, I'm gonna be a little nervous. Yeah, if they make him throw to Harold Fanning Jr. and he don't hold on to the ball, we're gonna have a lot to talk about. Because I'm gonna already say it was a setup, because that's what I felt like it was. I'm like, so now Harold Fanning Jr. can't catch. Now we have a fourth string snapper that don't know how to snap the ball. How the hell you get to the NFL and you don't know how to snap the ball at practice? So you gonna know how to snap it in the game? I doubt it. I expect Shedeur to play 4 quarters. He's been held back enough. That's what I expect. He has been held back enough. I expect him to play all 4 quarters. It probably ain't gonna happen. I expect him to ball out. I hope they win. Can't say, I don't know what Carolina really look like. Can't say for sure if that's gonna be the case or not. Regardless of win or lose, Shedeur is a good game manager. He does everything. The receiver can hold on to the ball. They can catch it and hold on to the ball, whether they win or lose. If he's what a quarterback should be, based on realistic expectations of a quarterback. If he look like a QB1 out there, if they give him the opportunity to let it fly like he does in practice, what I expect is for some teams to start calling, asking for a trade. Because that's what should happen when you have a 4th string QB who performs like a QB1, who was supposed to be QB1 anyway. That's what I truly expect to happen. I expect the foolishness to stop, because y'all ain't stopping nobody. 17 and 18 already out there with Spencer Rattler and Russell Wilson. So y'all ain't gonna stop nothing. If he not good in Cleveland and he go to another team, whether they put him on a practice squad, which if they put him on a practice squad, hell is gonna burn. Hell is going to burn. They not gonna get away with it. They couldn't keep him out the draft. They couldn't cut him after mandatory camp. Hell, they couldn't withhold him from playing in this game. So the practice squad thing ain't gonna work. I think they were gonna treat him like they treated Tyler Huntley. They were gonna make Shedeur Huntley this time around and keep Huntley thinking he can't get better than Dillon. But the crazy part is they want to build him up like he's a Pro Bowl player. You know what they were saying on some of these big box shows? Oh, that was a slap in the face to Shedeur. Of course it was. But it's going to be a slap in the face to Dillon, because Shedeur probably ain't going to be there. So I expect them to stop playing around, and I expect some trade calls to come in, win or lose, to get Shedeur the hell out of Cleveland. Tyler is expected to be a temp. So why are we developing him? Why would he play any of the game if he just got the playbook today? Basic packages or not, why are we developing somebody that's supposed to be around for 2 weeks? If you have serious intentions with Shedeur, he plays 4 quarters. You held him back enough. He only going to run with the ones for 2 days before a whole damn game. So that seems like you was setting him up to fail, and you was forced to let him practice with the ones, because you truly going to try to develop Tyler. I expect somebody to call up to want to trade for a QB1. I expect the collusion to stop. That's asking for a miracle. I said Shedeur is ready for a weak O-line. People asking, these reporters was asking him about the O-line. He said, don't matter if it's a 2 or 3 or 4, the O-line don't matter. It doesn't. He proved that in college that they want to ignore. Don't ignore it. Don't ignore it. Because you got 3 players right now that you drafted before Shedeur that's running from a damn pass rush. No. I believe Shedeur can throw to any receiver who has hands that can catch and hold on to a ball. Harold Fanning Jr. This means you. I expect you to get out there. Yes, you might feel your spot is safe on the roster, but I expect you to play ball like you want to make the team. That's what I expect. I expect the preseason game to be on the up and up. I don't expect players to be handpicked to sabotage the game. Yes, it happens. So he ready for whatever. That's the thing. Shedeur is ready for whatever. It don't matter what it is. He's ready for whatever. If you didn't give him first team reps and he's out here being the best QB you have with 2 3s and 4s. The media calling Dylan Gabriel trash. The fans want to know why they forcing Dylan Gabriel on us. Browns media come back and say, well, you know, maybe Dylan isn't so bad. We don't know what happens in the meetings. We don't know what happened with the calls. I'm like, it don't matter what the hell it happens. The number tells you what happens. See, we're not going to disregard the numbers so you can hold Shedeur back. We're not going to make up no arbitrary bullshit ass metric for you to come up with. He won the damn competition twice. Before the summer break and now at training camp. And they still want to make him 4th string. That is why I expect, win or lose, somebody better call up and get Shedeur. Has Michael Parsons signed his contract yet? Jerry Jones told Shedeur we're going to have to do a lot of trading. Penalties. Things we're looking for. Make sure there's not a lot of penalties. I don't have a problem with him holding on to the ball because they don't have a problem with Pat Mahomes extending plays. That is not something you can use with Shedeur. Shedeur was not getting sacked because he was extending plays. Shedeur was getting sacked because of some of his O-line was on the tape. Yeah, I said it. And year 1, it was damn near all of them threw away their damn careers because some coaches was in their feelings. In year 2, yeah, we had 1 or 2 on the right side that were questionable. And when people tried to rotate away from them, the rest of them went MIA to try to force Coach Prime into playing a player who was full of shit. Came from a school, came to see you, and went back to the same school. Couldn't block for shit. Wasn't even trying. And Shedeur was still successful. Go watch the Baylor game. There's nothing wrong with Shedeur extending plays. I don't expect him to be judged harshly for that if they love when Pat Mahomes do it. Just respect the fact that Shedeur has Pat Mahomes in him, that they have the same skill set. Respect the fact that he was trained by Tom Brady and his nickname is Lil Brady. Respect the fact that he was trained by Jeff Blake. Respect the fact that he has had top-tier world-class training. He wins wherever he goes. And if you don't want him, pick up the phone and make a damn trade for him. But you're not going to make him shake in your boots because you go get a player that you discarded last year. You playing in both of their faces. You playing in Tyler's faces trying to pit him against Shedeur because you tried to pit Shedeur against Dylan Gabriel and failed. Just like the NFL tried to keep him out the draft and failed. Tried to cut Shedeur after mandatory minicamp and failed. Are you not tired yet? Because we got more where this came from. So I expect them to show him respect. And if you don't want him on your roster, I suggest you pick up the phone and you make a trade. Because if you cut him and he clear waivers, he going to get rid of that raggedy ass contract. That's what's going to happen. And there's nothing in that contract that's not standard by the NFL. So he could get rid of that one and get a new one. So my expectation, win or lose, Shedeur still need to be traded out of Cleveland. I expect Cleveland to pick up the phone and find somebody to send Shedeur to a real team. Because it's clear they have to be forced into giving him the opportunity that he equally deserves like the others. They have to be forced. If they don't value him, to hell with them. And people saying Shedeur need to ask for a trade? No, because look how it worked out when Deshaun Watson asked for a trade. Yeah, that's what happened. They have no recourse by the NFL Players Association. Do you hear anybody from the NFL Players Association coming down to rescue Shedeur from the clutches of the evil being hurled upon him by the damn Cleveland Browns? Why do you think these front offices and owners know they could get away with this? The same reason we just found out that the leader of the NFL Players Association was colluding with the damn owners. These players have no recourse. They have essentially a muzzle on their mouths by way of their restrictive, stifling contracts that demand loyalty and submission. So that's what I expect. Let me hear what y'all say. What are y'all expecting? What's your expectations for the game? And what y'all think about Jimmy being 3rd string, wide receiver 3, which is number 9? After they had him on every damn publication and social media and interview out there calling him the best and this, that, and the other. Hey, Gracie, how you doing? How you doing? Thank you, Kane. It said, yes, Ponder's good. Yep, Ponder is a good quarterback. Again, if we don't play Ponder next year, hell, we don't play Ponder this year. If we don't play Ponder some kind of way this year, we're going to lose him. I'm just going to put it out there. And I don't think that's a good idea because we know Caden is leaving. We know Caden is moving on. So I think we got to find a way. You know, we're talking about maybe red zone offense. We'll probably see Juju. If we see, and we don't want to disrupt the rhythm, right? We don't want them switching off every play. We don't want them turning into the Cleveland Browns and rotating 3 quarterbacks throughout the entire damn season. We don't want that. But we have to find a way to play Ponder because he has a cannon. Juju, a cannon. Caden, a cannon. We have to find a way to put, I guess you could say, their talent out there. Because if we don't, we gonna lose them. We're gonna lose Caden and we're gonna lose Ponder. Then we probably gonna be gone with Staub. Then we're gonna have Juju. And then who else? I don't think we can sit up there and ignore the fact that we gotta play Ponder. Just the footage from practices alone gonna have somebody coming his way. People are realizing it. Man, I didn't know he was that good because we didn't see him. He was there last year. So he should definitely get some shine this year. It's enough games out there. And plus, if we plan on going all the way, if we plan on going to the Big 12 playoffs, we plan on the Big 12 championship game, the 12-team playoff, the natty, whatever. Injuries always happen late in the season. So we need to get the 3 of them ready. Staub didn't look too bad to me either. Technically, we have 4 QBs. So I don't know how they're going to do it. Yes, that was Bucky on the screen. I'm going to put it back. Yes, that was Bucky on the screen. If y'all just not joining us, I was like trying to see, look how much he looks like snow. I don't see it in Bucky when I look at him now. But as a kid, damn. The Sanders have some strong genes, some strong DNA. No, Willie, it was not me. That's funny. He does look a lot like his grandfather, yeah. He still look the same. Y'all think this look like Bucky right now? I don't know. This don't kind of look like him right now. This I don't see it. I don't see it. His mother have those big, beautiful eyes. Okay. That's what so that's a Sanders trait. That's a maybe Miss Carolyn has doe eyes. That's what they call it. Maybe Miss Carolyn has eyes like that. I've only seen her a few times. She's very pretty. I saw something with her recently. I was like, wow, she's really striking. She's pretty. Y'all said she married a NBA player, a former NBA player or something like that. I think Shedeur is a quiet storm and he knows how to answer them. He does. And that's why people are praising Shedeur for how he's handling this non-football crap that he's handed. So that tells you the media is asking him non-football questions because they were already advised he's not going to be around for long. He's not a viable option for us. That's why they were not developing him. People think, and maybe Cleveland thinks they're throwing him into the fire without first team reps. But if the first team not playing, I don't see that happening. So, again, the media is in on it. That's why I say Browns fans, y'all can't listen to local media. You got to get to know whatever quarterback they bring your way. Tyler Huntley, Shedeur Sanders, anybody else. You have to learn who they are for yourself because they're going to lie to you. Great. Yes, let's hit the like button, please. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I heard Stefanski is not playing the first team offense with Shedeur, but Carolina is playing their first team defense. Now, didn't Shedeur just practice against the first team defense? He did pretty good, right? I don't know what day that was. I'm not going to profess to know that. I know, and Coach Prime said that's how they practice anyway at Colorado, first team against second team. Well, you know, Coach Prime is modeling his program, you know, after NFL process, but with dignity and respect for human beings and humanity in general. So again, Coach Prime is the perfect person to take that NFL staff that he has curated, former NFL staff that he has curated, and create a league of his own and set it up the same way. It would definitely be a threat. Because he treats his players with respect. He treats his players fairly. People see Ponder because they put him out there. We could not see him. He could tell whoever's turning in the video, make sure you cut him out. No, they don't do that. If you good, you gonna shine. They said Warren Sapp made the comment, we don't have a depth chart, we have a reps chart. And I heard the wide receiver coach say it's coming, we paying attention. We know who's who at this point. We know who we can count on, and that's who gonna get the reps. So they getting ready to go into another level of practice where the best get the reps. So we're getting ready to find out who they deem the best. Now, people want to know, should they show that on TV and who's who? I don't know. Like the play from Track Hawk, I don't know if other people should have seen that. Not being critical, it's just a real thing, because I know Georgia Tech is watching that. I know every team we play watches that. I know they do. It don't have. I'm not saying they watching it in practice, but on their own, yeah, they looking at it and like, oh, this is who. So if you know that that's his capability, you could kind of expect it in the game. But if I didn't see it, then they wouldn't know, and then he would spring it on them in the game. So let me know your thoughts. What y'all think about that? It might not be a big deal, but people do kind of wonder if we're kind of giving things away. So let me know your thoughts if we're giving things away with the practice footage. Although the Lord doesn't cause harm or sickness, he does say he will make room for your gifts. That's facts. Salute to the CU aunties in the chat. There you go. No, I'm not having it. I'm not having it. I'm like, it's not right. And they doing it to too many people. I don't even like the way they trying to use Tyler Huntley against Shedeur. Well, if you had Pickett hurt, now Dylan is magically hurt. So when Shedeur said he had arm soreness, Mary Cabot was out there. So you're the person that reported the arm soreness. I'm like, lady, what is your problem? Are you trying to say it wasn't the team? You want to let everybody know that he reported his arm was sore? Okay. Isn't that a good thing? And I noticed with all of this coming out about Shedeur playing, I guess, in the game, everybody keeps citing her as the person to share the story. I'm like, so all of these local reporters y'all have, all of these national reporters y'all have, y'all trying to make everything go back to her reporting that Shedeur is going to start. Why? She needs some positive press about Shedeur after she been antagonizing him, after she been harassing him, after she been pursuing him with microaggressions. So she needs some positivity about Shedeur. The day Shedeur walked past her when she was reporting and he was in the background like, yeah, just saying hi. I said, oh, I bet that was the day she realized, oh my God, he really likes me. She thought antagonizing him was the thing to do and got called out about it, got her coattails yanked. They moved her off the camera, put in Daniel Oyefuse. I guess they put her in timeout because I ain't seen Daniel Oyefuse since. They put her back out there. So now she's learning how to treat people. So I noticed every story circled back to her when normally they have several people that, speak for the Browns. She come from a media family. Deep connections, deep connections. As long as she mind herself and respect him, I ain't gonna say nothing else. Hey Jungle, how you doing? Haven't seen you in a while. Welcome back. Also looks like New Orleans got a black QB problem because Radler is whipping Tyler. Yep. That's what I said. They talking about, notice where they want to send Shedeur. They were like, send Shedeur to the Jets. I'm like, nope. They already got 2 black quarterbacks. They good. What's going on up there in Minnesota? Send him over there behind J.J. McCarthy. They ain't going to do that. They talking about send him to New Orleans. Nope. Spencer Radler is right there. Let him have his time. Why they want to send him somewhere where there's already a black quarterback? Matt Stafford has back issues. You see how they slid in Teddy Bridgewater in Tampa. Did y'all know that Tampa needed another quarterback? So now Teddy Bridgewater competing with the other guy for backup behind Baker Mayfield. I remember Teddy Bridgewater looking pretty damn good in Detroit. Why they didn't get him back up there? They are strategic about where Shedeur can go. That's why the phone is not jumping off the hook, because not anybody could trade for him. But Cleveland has learned, and hopefully they learned a lesson, like Mary Cabot learned hers. You're not going to play in Shedeur face. You're not going to try to humiliate Shedeur and get away with it. People will stand on your head. Let's see if they learn. So I still think they're going to trade him. So we still on our Shedeur Sanders trade watch. Willie say he hopes. Yeah, I hope so too. I want him to go to an organization that is free of this blatant racism, because that's what it is. They thought they could be blatant because they believed the NFL got away with it. I'm like, you must have forgot you was forced to draft him. So the NFL didn't get away with shit but 16 black quarterbacks. And now they got 18. So that should tell them, keep playing if you will. The numbers just going to keep going up. They pissed off because they couldn't hold him back in the draft. They couldn't do what they wanted to do. It wasn't enough that they humiliated him and pushed him down. They had to just hit him with a dagger. But it didn't happen. God didn't let it happen. He will still be fourth string. He going to be somewhere else. Shedeur going to be somewhere else. I do think they're going to still hold him as fourth string. And they already got their little lie together. Well, DTR, I'm like, Shedeur is not DTR. And that's what you're going to hear me say. Why are you comparing him with the 40 quarterbacks that you have had in 25 years? Why do you keep comparing him to DTR? It's maybe he's a Baker Mayfield and somebody that's going to ball out when he leave you, because that's what happens to people. Just like Malik Willis in Tennessee, he balls out when he get up here to Green Bay. They are holding these black quarterbacks away from QB1. That's why I told y'all when Anthony Richardson got hurt, I said they're not going to give him his starting job back. Their depth chart says Daniel Jones or Anthony Richardson. Are they going by last name alphabetically, the J before the R? Because wasn't Anthony Richardson the starter already? There was no competition. They just took his job like they did Tyrod Taylor. Shedeur is over or under. It says Shedeur 1.5 touchdowns over or under. Oh, I don't know. Anybody willing to bet? We can't bet in Georgia. So maybe somebody will entertain you, boo. So if y'all entertain betting, somebody in the comments, I put it on the screen. Have an over or under bet for you. DL, Cleveland doesn't matter. Shedeur is auditioning for a job on another team. Cleveland is irrelevant at this point. Shedeur must perform at a high level and leave Cleveland. I think that's what's going to happen. It says Shedeur is going to be throwing bombs. I think so too. I think it's going to be a fun game. I'm hoping that Jimmy Horn Jr. gets out there. If they not, y'all said they're playing their first team defense. Jimmy plays offense. So maybe we don't see the first team offense and Jimmy gets to play because they got him at third string. That sucks. If I'm Jimmy, the next time y'all put a camera in my face, I'm going to be good. I'm going to be like this. I'm going to start just sneezing randomly so they can just move on to somebody else, because that's exploitation. That's exactly what that is. I think Cleveland is still going to be forced to put him on the forefront. The longer he's in Cleveland, they're going to have to be forced every step of the way. I said it. I said, you know what? They keep trying to get rid of him and they can't. I'm like, that means God's will for Shedeur is to be in Cleveland. So we just going to have to toughen up and unfollow them so, we can protect our peace and just stay on their necks. And it's just going to be a whole season of it. So I totally agree with you. I totally agree. And they're going to have to be forced every step of the way because they don't want to do it. And nobody wants to, hold them accountable. Not in the local media. 12 needs to play smart, control the offense, and ball out. I agree. So this is the expectation JV said. 12 just play smart. I agree. Play smart, no penalties. Control the ball, control the offense, and ball out. Facts. So I think so too. It says, Gracie said, to evaluate his performance fairly and objectively and give him the spot he rightfully deserves. Right. In other words, let's be on the up and up with this game. Not let's get further pissed off. Damn, we got to put him out here. And we don't want that because we know he's going to ball out. And then, manipulate the game so that he'll look bad. And then you could go back to kicking him on fourth string because that's what they're going to do. So I agree. Jonathan said this is going to be an audition for other teams. Ball out Friday. Other teams will come calling. That's what I'm hoping for. That's what I'm hoping for. If they want to keep Dillon, they want to keep Flacco, they want to keep Pickett, that's fine. But let Shedeur go. Don't waste his time. Gracie said, can we get 49 likes, please? Thank y'all so much. Can we get the likes up? There are 147 of us. Thank you. Kay, Hey, K Hayes. It said Carolina playing their starters. Interesting. What do y'all think about that? Carolina playing first team offense and defense. Because you know they're going to want Ted to get out there. He's their starter. Leggett isn't a starter. Maybe they let the second guy play behind him or Jimmy. Because I don't know if their second string was on the team. So oh Lord, if they play their first team offense against the second team defense, y'all think it's gonna go like that? The first team offense for Carolina against the second team defense for Cleveland. I haven't seen a depth chart from Cleveland. I mean, they kind of already told us who the quarterback was, so that's all I cared about anyway. I think Shedeur Nation put him in a bad position. Okay, first of all, there's nothing called Shedeur Nation. Nothing. We are football fans. Thank you for hanging out with us. There's nothing called Shedeur Nation, and we didn't put him in a bad light. You can't put somebody in a bad light they don't want. You can't. You just can't do it. You can't put nobody, and nobody put Shedeur in a bad light. They didn't want him from the jump, hence the draft. It said Cleveland play calling Friday, 25 run plays, no pass plays, while 12 is in the game. I'm not surprised. I said it. I said that's what could happen. Y'all see, I don't want y'all to be upset if that's what they do. That would mean they're grounding him. That's what I meant by grounding him. Jeff Fisher did the same thing to Steve McNair. And then after they got to the Super Bowl, they traded him to Baltimore. Playing keep away. So it wouldn't surprise me. I hope it don't happen. I hope this game is on the up and up, but I think that would be foolish to think that Cleveland is just going to do the right thing going forward. No, they are forced into it every time. Like Coach Prime told the Buffs today, everybody play their part and it will be good. That's what I mean. I hope it's on the up and up. Hey, Jerry, how you doing? How you doing? How you doing? I hope it's on the up and up. Juanita said, and this is in Shedeur, not on him. Right. And they refuse to believe that. They act like Shedeur is a textbook quarterback, that he learned things out of a textbook, like he doesn't have instincts and intangibles. One of the things that Mike Tomlin said about Shedeur, that it looked like their GM was going to jump out of his own skin. He had nothing but nice things to say about Shedeur, including the intangibles that are very important. Hundley is nothing but a body of journeyman until one of the QBs is healthy. Yeah, we're going to see. I'm not convinced. That's probably what he should be, but that would be wrong to do that to him twice, because that means he doesn't get a game check. They don't get paid until the first game check. Nobody's getting paid right now. These guys live season to game check. That's how they live. Then they have a gap in between, and they don't get paid again till September. So if the last game check came regular season, December, January, Super Bowl, then you're not getting paid no more until September. And I would hate them to do that to him, but it wouldn't surprise me. They already did it before. But it's funny how they're trying to build him up. A Pro Bowl player, you didn't value him. You didn't value him, but you value him now. Yeah, that's suspicious. That's why I'm not 100% that they brought in. First of all, I'm not convinced that anybody's hurt. I don't think Pickett nor Dillon is hurt. I don't know why they wouldn't want Dillon to play in the preseason game other than he going to look bad. That's it. They're going to put Tyler out there, and he don't know. He don't even have a playbook. Even if they go with basic packages, he don't even know the players. He didn't even practice with them, but they're going to put him out there. I mean, that just tells you they're throwing these people into the fire and expecting them to just swim with it because we don't care about this game anyway. That's not how you treat people. It said you draft Gabriel and have to justify that third-round pick. Trade for Pickett. Yeah, people say just trade Pickett. When they got the sixth guy, they're like, just trade Pickett. You're going to go get somebody else for 2 weeks that you done played in their face before when you know Pickett and Flacco. Neither one of them can take you all the way. Flacco can get you part-time, possibly. Just take his record from Indianapolis. Just take that. And that's what you're going to get. And Pickett is, all people say is Pickett is Pickett. There's no explanation needed. People don't even believe, analysts do not even believe Dillon is an NFL quarterback, that he's not going to even be a good quarterback in the NFL. He's not. He was coddled at Oregon. He was a system guy. It took him 6 years, and he can't even see over nobody's head. That's why he's not playing in the game. Pay attention to the play calling Friday. Don't trust these Browns. Yep, we do not. I'm going to put a star on that. You might not want a crown, but Jonathan, I'm going to give it to you. Pay attention to the play calling on Friday. We will be live during the game. Y'all want to hang out? Yeah, we probably going to be live all 4 hours. We've done it before with the Super Bowl and everything else in the draft. So we'll likely be live all 4 hours. So yeah, I put a star in Jonathan's his comment because it's true. You can't trust these Browns. That's what Ocho was saying. How can you trust this organization? You cannot. You cannot. First OTAs meant nothing. It's training camp. He's killing training camp. Now that it's nothing, it's preseason games. Now preseason games don't count. It's regular season games, right? And he probably gonna even be around to perform in a regular season game. He gonna have to wait to both of those 2% battery lifers and Dillon, who's not an NFL quarterback, fail. That's what they're gonna be willing to lose 3 or 4 games rather than let Shedeur play. And all they're gonna do with Dillon is make him pass the ball to the running back because they know he's too short. They knew when they drafted him, he was too short. So they're going to be like, you know what? Forget that. Just hand off the ball. Just like they said the plays that Shedeur is going to get in preseason. That's all they're going to do to Dillon in the regular season. They're going to Band-Aid Flacco's 6 games that he could play. They're not going to want him to take no hits. And then there's Pickett. And then there's Dillon. Dillon just going to pass off the ball. They're probably going to make Flacco pass the ball a lot too, so he doesn't get hit as much. Shedeur should give you an interview if he becomes the Browns starter in regular season. Okay, I'll take that. I'll take that. Yeah, I'll take that. It said, young lady, Shedeur can't be coddled. Shedeur is not being coddled. Now, I'll let you stay and share your bet, but we don't coddle nobody around here. Shedeur is who he is. He is as advertised. He's the best QB coming out of college. Before they start meddling, after October, he was the #1 overall player to be selected in the draft. We're not coddling anybody. Numbers don't lie. So, you know. Hey, how you doing? How you doing? How you doing? It says CP always said, y'all want the light. It will show your strengths. It will show your blemishes. Amen. Amen. Negro leagues must return. Yeah, they got rid of them for a reason. They got rid of them for a reason. A reason. That's the point. They've done everything they could to hold him back. They can't hold him back. I agree. He wasn't supposed to be starting in the first preseason game. Let's just sit back and watch God work. God needs your voice, though. That's what people want to do. Everybody want to sit back and watch God work and pray for Shedeur. When you pray for people, God gonna use you in the prayer. Using your voice is how it happened. We showed up and God showed out. We couldn't have forced them into anything if the pressure wasn't there. Where you think the pressure came from? All of the passion and opinions that people had about how negative they're treating Shedeur. Look at how Shedeur got drafted. Look at what transpired. Things that people will forget 10 years down the line because you didn't see them play out on TV like you did Lamar Jackson. That's God sparing him. Using it to expose and pull back the curtain and kick the door open for Shedeur. But it took something to be the catalyst. And the catalyst is all of the voices that came together and called Cleveland out, something people generally don't do. This team has gotten away with this behavior for decades. For decades. And their own fans, traumatized, not willing to believe what they see with their own eyes. Don't want Shedeur to get out there and play because they don't want him to get sacked. He good. He can defeat an O-line. That's the beauty of it. That's the point. Shedeur can win a game with half an O-line. He can win 9 of them. From what I can see, he had an O-line to practice against at times, and he still defeated that. So no, they can't stop him, but it's not a sit back. Faith without works is dead. This worked because we showed up and God showed out. It took the sun, the moon, and the stars to be aligned. But every voice and everybody's opinion and the calling out of Cleveland that they have 6, they were going to go on with 6 QBs. If nobody said nothing, this would still be going on. So you can't just sit back. You have to lend your voice to it. That's how it works. We show up and God shows out. We do what we could do and God is going to do the rest. And that's what happens. Faith without works is dead. Joint practice will be important. Yep, I hope we get to see it, D. I hope we get to see it. I hope we get to see it. I want to see what joint practice looks like. Yeah, I do. I hope we get to see it. I don't really know. Jimmy will be good in the slot. Yeah, he's a slot receiver. I just wish he was like maybe second on the depth chart. In the manner that they've been using him and exploiting him for all of their media, hell, you would think he was first string just as a slot. I mean, I never expected him to be in front of Xavier Leggett, but I did expect him to be second string. That's ridiculous. The NFL is capitalizing off of CU's popularity. I'm going to go with that. Let me put a star by that. I'm going to go with that. That's what it's looking like. That's what it's looking like to me. That's why I said from the beginning, we got to see who really make the roster. You see, they trying to kick Shedeur off of it. Preseason depth charts mean nothing. Well, if that's the case, he should have definitely been a second stringer. It means a lot when a team is using you in all of their media, all of their interviews, praising you because you're the best one they have, this, that, and the other. I knew it was a lie when they said they didn't know he was that twitchy of a receiver because that meant you didn't do scouting like y'all said y'all be doing. So he balled out in the combine. So how is it all of this stuff takes place and it doesn't get utilized? So that told you Carolina wasn't on the up and up. And everything that happened in between, making him the poster child, this, that, and the other. And now it circles back. He's at the end of the depth chart. That shouldn't be the case. That should not be the case. You don't get to exploit him like that, but you don't value his talent. He's not there to be your poster child. You only are supposed to give the people that are your talent that type of notoriety. Why would you exploit him for views like that if you don't believe in his talent? Like, no, that's exploitation. You don't do that. And it's not like they're paying him for it. I can see if he was an actress or a model, they'd have to pay him. Jimmy Horn is no different. The NFL is angry at the power and the influence of his new creed. I just think that, I do. I think they still trying to take a dig at Coach Prime. I do. That's what I think. I think if they feel like that they hold Coach Prime's program back, that if you hold back a lot of the players, that it will hurt the recruiting. But by no means does that mean that they sat down and brought in, after the Vegas Super Bowl, right before 15 Black starting quarterbacks emerged, they didn't bring in Charles Woodson because he's Black, so they don't appear what? Because of Coach Prime. Two things can be true, but understand the primary thing here, the primary grievance here is 17 of 32, because it's not just happening to Shedeur. The excuse against Lamar Jackson was that he was mentally incapable of being a quarterback. That's why they wanted him to switch to wide receiver, that he was short. He's 6'3". They said anything to get him off the QB position. And I said it. They are still holding it against him that he refused to switch to wide receiver. And he is not Coach Prime's son. 17 of 32. That's what this is about. You just need a story to hold these guys back. They couldn't say Shedeur was mentally incapable, but they did it to CJ Stroud. Y'all just don't know that. They passed around CJ Stroud's mental aptitude test trying to say he was mentally unfit to be a quarterback. So it shouldn't be a surprise to you that after he puts the team on his back in year one, that in year two, his O-line is incapable of being efficient. They did it to CJ Stroud too. Bryce Young sacked excessively. Caleb Williams sacked excessively. People already asked how many times is Shedeur going to get sacked. I said him not being their starter protects him from that type of damage. Hell, he could end up with CTE. I always said one reason God didn't let Kaepernick come back is because he probably was going to end up with CTE, because these people are retaliatory. That much is obvious. Just like it's obvious that they collude, it's obvious they're retaliatory. For the people telling Shedeur to ask for a trade, I don't know how you think that's going to work out. But they made an example out of Deshaun Watson. And no, he was not the only one. Yeah, they're diabolical. It's just straight up evil. It's just straight up evil. I just said it in the comments. I'm like, this is just evil. Wow, with all the visibility, I thought Jimmy was about to be a starter. There you go, Mia. I wonder if he will be first up for kickoff return or punt return. Hopefully. I'm thinking that's got to be that, right? That's got to be that. It said, doesn't Coach Prime has a birthday? I think it just passed, huh? Wasn't Coach Prime birthday August 9th? Or is August 9th? Oh, yeah, that's my mama's birthday too. So I definitely can't forget. I definitely cannot forget. I don't let me forget my mama's birthday. I'm like, I never hear the end of it. So I got to do something about that. So there you go. We need a black league. I agree. It just don't seem like nobody's been motivated to do it just yet. I don't know how this draft wasn't that. I've already said Coach Prime is the most capable. He looked good. So maybe he could do it. And you never know. Depending on how this go, he might. One of the things I noticed, I'm going to tell you what I noticed about CU lately. And again, the fall camp just started. Coach Prime just got back. They say, instead of getting ready for the NFL, and maybe they did this last year, but it stood out to me. They said the next level. I said, wait a minute. Are they not mentioning the NFL no more? And it's all of them, all of the coaches. So they changed their language. Now, I'd have to go back to look at last year. I know they was hot and heavy on the NFL. Maybe they always said that. But for whatever reason, earlier, what's today? Monday. So late last week, I was listening to them talk. I know it was after fall camp. And they said the next level. And I'm like, are they not saying the NFL no more? I was like, maybe they are working on the league. I'm like, maybe they've been working on the league and maybe the NFL got wind of it and got pissed off and tried to take Coach Prime legs from underneath him. But I know one thing, they know he has influence over the players. See, they want to be in control. They know he has influence over the players. They know if they're trying to they can't treat Shedeur like Deshaun Kaiser because Coach Prime already spoke up for Deshaun Kaiser. That tweet from 2018 when Shedeur was 16 years old, after the season ended and Deshaun Kaiser was 0-15, he said, I like what they're doing in Cleveland because Hugh Jackson, who's black, was the head coach. He said, but no young quarterback should go there. 0-15 to leave him out there. Now, people were upset with leaving Dylan out there at 3-14. Imagine 0-15 for the season. And they pissed off that Coach Prime spoke up for that kid. But then we learned that Deshaun Watson was taking Shedeur under his wing because Coach Prime was supportive of Deshaun Watson. Why? Because Coach Prime knows that Deshaun Watson wasn't the only one. He was just the one that asked for a trade, and they thought they was going to take him down until they realized you're going to have to take down a lot of people. And they had to make a decision. Deshaun Watson had one of the best lawyers in the country. I heard his legal bill was $13 million. And he got that back too. They could be trying to make last year rookies jealous to get them to do better. It could be. It could be. But the way that they put Jimmy out there, you would have thought he was a starter. Cheating them out of money, but exploiting them. Yeah. It's exploitation. Leggett been dropping balls all last year. Let's see how that go. I believe the way they are treating the CU players is going to come back to bite them. Right. Because the Shrine Bowl put out their list, and they basically, out of their top 1,000, let me see if I can find that on my X. Out of their top 1,000, they had, I know at minimum, 10 players at CU that they gave a nod to. Now, I don't know how many go to the Shrine Bowl. I'm not sure if it's 1,000. I personally didn't even know that the Shrine Bowl gave out information this early on. I really didn't. I didn't know they gave out that kind of information this early on, but they had over 10. I'm trying to see if I can find it. They had, let me go straight to their page. They had over 10 players from Colorado on that list where they gave them a nod from CU. Let's see if I can find it. I should have bookmarked it. I could have, but here it is. East West Shrine Bowl. It says, I'm just looking for it first. Let's see. Shrine Bowl 1,000. That's what they had. Here it goes. Let's see. They did different teams. They did Michigan. Let me share the screen so y'all can see what I'm scrolling on, and we'll just get there together. Let's see. Share my screen. Y'all can see what I'm looking at. Okay. See if I can make the screen larger. Wrong tab, wrong tab, wrong tab. Okay. Not the right one. This is it. Okay. This is my X page. Let me see if I can make it larger. I'm not sure if I can or not. Nope, I can't. I'm going to just scroll to it till I get to it. All right. You should be able to now see. There we go. All right. So I'm going to scroll to it. That is Syracuse. So they did a lot of schools, and then they put us on there. Let me get to CU, Toledo. Okay. So as you can see, this is a nod right here for who is that? Toledo. They had just a few players. Go Buffs. Okay. This is us right here. So Shrine Bowl 1,000. They already given a nod to CU players. These are the players. I don't know who all of these players are by their handles, but we can figure some things out. D1ZY. Dallin Hayden maybe? No, Dallin Hayden is number 3. So D1ZY. Don't know who that is. 1210 Frenchie. Montana French somebody. Somebody's last name is French, I think. Dallin Hayden is 5. Xavier Hill. Oh, you could put hold on, let's see. Who is that? Oh, that's the O lineman, Chrysler. That's him, Xylon Chrysler. Oh, he's already getting a nod. Okay, Xylon Chrysler, Martavius French, Dallin Hayden, Xavier Hill, another O lineman, No Limit, TP3, Preston Hodge, Reginald Hughes. Yep, Reginald Hughes, DJ McKinney, obvious. Amari McNeil, okay. Jaheim Otis, okay. And Caden Salter. So how many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 players. 10 players get the nod from the Shrine Bowl. So you know what that means, right? That means we probably gonna have about 10 players going to the draft. And it also tells me Omarion is not a senior, because I think this is strictly for seniors. So if we have 10 seniors, we got 10 people leaving, 10 people declaring for the draft, 10 people that should be drafted. We can evaluate them later. I'm probably going to bookmark that so I can keep it, and then we can go back to it. Now, the question is, do y'all believe all 10 of them, since they already got the nod, will be invited to the Shrine Bowl? This is 1,000. Are they going to pare it down to 500 or 300 people? Let me know. Let me know your thoughts. So we got 10 players, 10 seniors that got a nod already. It said Ice Cube with the big 3. Shedeur Sanders need to create a league. I agree. I just hope he do better than Ice Cube. Ice Cube made Caitlin Clark a deal for $10 million to come play with the big 3. And he didn't offer Angel nearly as much, and said that she doesn't have that kind of draw. I'm like, Ice Cube, did you really think that her fan base one, her people would allow it. Two, her fan base would support you. They don't even like the WNBA. They just want to control it. So he a little short. I like Ice Cube, but he a little short-sighted when it comes to, like, they have a lot of sponsors on their games and this, that, and the other. But I don't know how he thinks. The way he thinks, oh, she's popular. I'll offer her 10 million. She's only making it 75 from the WNBA, but Nike's paying her 28 million. And you don't think Angel has a presence, but she makes the league too. So it's like he's going after who they're going after and shunning who they're shunning, the same people that the league and everybody else is shunning, when Angel is an integral part of the WNBA. I'm like, we expected you not to do that, but whatever. Sometimes when people hit a certain tax bracket, they have amnesia, especially Black celebrities. It just happens. It just happens. So I think that was ugly of him to do that. But he also got a cream pie to his face because they were like, bro, we ain't letting her fool with you. But then he gonna shun Angel that way. I didn't like that. Jimmy and Shedeur are gonna be all right. They are the cream of the crop. The NFL is a problem. They are. It's still wrong though. It's not that they're gonna be okay. We know they're not gonna break down and cry. We know they're gonna not be in their rooms upset. We know that. That's not what we're saying. What we're saying is this is ridiculous. And that it needs to be said. I had no idea they would do that with the way they've been putting Jimmy out there. Like, it's just insane. It's just totally, totally insane. So, that's just what it is. Everything they hurdled at Shedeur. It said everything they hurdled at Shedeur, their trap lies, denial has backfired. That's true. Cleveland, that tells me, yep, Shedeur's covered. Keep using your voice, though. Keep using your voice, because that's how it works. That's how it works. Tyler played in this system last year. And are you talking about, oh, he didn't play for them? I don't know why people keep saying that. He got cut in August. He was on a team in March. That's off season. They cut him August. He played for Miami. He didn't play with them. And they lying too by saying he was with us last year. Y'all cut the man. He was with Miami, came back and put a BTA on you, 30-4 or something like that. He did not play for them. They cut him before the first game check. Something they said they were going to do to a player on their current roster. And then they go get him, and they weren't going to let Shedeur play. Now they're forced to let Shedeur play. So, that's just what it is, guys. That's just what it is. So, people giving their expectations for, Shedeur and the game for Cleveland and the game. I think we all want the game to be on the up and up. Some of us still want Shedeur traded, win or lose. We want him to ball out. We hope they win. And even if they win, we still want Shedeur traded. We hope that the calls start coming in when he balls out. We expect, if they treat him fairly, if they let him play, if they don't restrict him, if they don't ground him to just passing off the ball, they should let him play for 4 quarters, because the other guy is supposed to be temporary for 2 weeks. So why would we develop somebody like that? That's a waste of time against a guy that's supposed to be on your roster. So that's where we are with that. So we get ready to get out of here. We'll be back tomorrow. Everybody's just going to be looking forward to Friday. We'll be live for the game. Yes, we still have our members only podcast at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time Friday. The game starts at 7. So we'll be live for our members only podcast on Friday. And then we'll go live publicly at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time when the game comes on. All right, y'all, we're going to get out of here. I'm going to go get some rest. I'll see y'all tomorrow. It is being reported that Shedeur will start the first preseason game. Yes. So, yeah, absolutely. Shedeur should be in high demand after Friday night. Hey, Anita, how you doing? It say Haslam is going to regret his evil comments. Other teams have already been watching. Yeah, that's true. But let's see if another team can get him. Or let's see if they're going to end up cutting him and saying there's no suitable trade partner. Because why? The NFL gave out Shedeur Sanders' phone number to 2,000 people. All 32 work for the NFL, all 32 teams of the NFL, including equipment managers that Shedeur was throwing to last week. Along with his phone number, there was an email attachment, waiver wires. So when Tyler was there, they cut him, released him, not trade him, and say that there's no suitable trade partner. The same thing happened with Cam Newton. That's what they do to people when they just want to just get rid of them. That's how you devalue people. We couldn't find nobody to trade with for you. Yes, they could do that with Shedeur. That's just continued collusion. They couldn't find nobody to draft him. He was off the board, and they still pretended like there was a draft happening. There wasn't. So it's not above them to put him on waivers and nobody claim him, or to release him and say that there's no suitable trade partner. He already won the competition. His numbers were the best. They still have him fourth string. Do not put anything past these people. Do not be shocked by anything they do. That's why myself and others, win or lose preseason, ball out or not, we want Shedeur traded out of Cleveland to a real team, if it's possible. If not, he going to be in Canada. So that's just the reality. So I'm going to say goodnight. Thank y'all for y'all input on this. Keep using your voice, keep showing up for Shedeur, because, we showed up and used our voice, did what we could do, and guys showed out. So, all right, y'all. Don't forget to say your prayers, everybody. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Thanks for watching What She Said Sports. Thank you for watching What She Said Sports. Be sure to join our daily live stream and listen up to What She Said Sports on the go on Spotify. Thank you for watching What She Said Sports. Stay for another video.